Here's the ideal social media platform that you should be targeting with your business. Now, when it comes to Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all these different social media platforms, even TikTok, there are different things that perform well on different platforms, and it's important for us to know the difference of what might be useful for our business and what might be a waste of time. Just because we think that it might be a waste of time, by the way, doesn't mean that it actually will be. And it's important that you test each one of these platforms because you're never going to know what the right answer is right off the bat anyways, but we can gather context clues in order to gain some perspective on what might be the best social media platform for our business and our products and our services. So first of all, let's kind of begin to identify what category we might fit in. So each one of these social media platforms has its own viewership, right? So if you go to something like TikTok, it's likely that the viewers are going to be younger. They're going to be looking for funny videos, maybe TikTok dances. These people are looking on platforms where maybe they're going to get a little bit of education and see maybe, for example, how solar panels could save them money on their electricity bill, and then make an educated decision. They're not watching TikTok dances and then they see your solar panels and they're like, oh, you know what? This actually sounds like a great idea. I do need solar panels, now that I think of it. Or like a roof, you know what I mean? So when it's something so major, when it's a larger purchase, it probably isn't going to be the best fit on TikTok, although there are always going to be anomalies. I bet you there's some roofing company that's absolutely crushing it on TikTok. But generally speaking, I think it would be wiser as a business owner to look at something like YouTube. Now, to explain a little bit further about what TikTok might be great for is something like a little gadget. Like you might all remember fidget spinners. We had fidget spinners, we had all these little toys and cool gadgets and those mini drones. Like you're on TikTok and you see one of these little things and you're just like, wow, that looks cool. And quite frankly, the quality of the product, the price of the product isn't even that important. The copy that you wrote for your ad isn't as important as that item looking cool. So literally the photo or the video of the item has to just look cool. If it looks cool, people will buy it. If it doesn't look cool, they're not going to buy it. But again, that might be more focused to TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that. Now, as you move to Facebook and Instagram, you're going to have a bit of a different audience. On Facebook, you're going to have people who probably are a bit older than the people on TikTok, just generally speaking. Now, these people are probably there just for entertainment, right? Again, they're probably not looking for TikTok dance videos, but they're also not really looking for long form content. So if you put a webinar on Facebook and that's what your ad directs to, people might go on there and they're like scrolling. They're like, oh, wow, great. My cousin Mary had a baby. Oh, great. My high school friends got married. Oh, cool. This was a family reunion. Oh, sweet. Like there's that thing going on, this thing going on. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, let me just stop and watch this hour-long webinar on why, whatever it might be, whatever service you're selling. So they're not really in that frame of mind of learning, right? They're not really at a point where they want to educate themselves on something, and they're just kind of enjoying their day, just maybe spending a couple minutes on Facebook. Maybe they're waiting in line at the coffee shop, and so they're just scrolling on Facebook or Instagram. Then they see your ad pop up. They're not really in the frame of mind to like sit down and watch a webinar and learn something. And that, I think, also highlights the importance of a platform like YouTube, because when somebody goes to YouTube, I know me personally, I don't go to YouTube just to kill time. And I think most people don't. You go there with the intent to learn. So when people have that frame of mind, when they have the intent to learn something, they go to YouTube. And so if you're posting educational videos on YouTube, maybe that's the best place to reach them. Maybe that's the best place to have a webinar. Maybe that's the best place to have an ad that runs to an hour-long webinar where you're explaining something and you're teaching them something and they walk away with value, right? As opposed to something like Instagram or Facebook where maybe somebody's just scrolling and looking at reels or just looking at nice pictures, and they're not really in the mood to like watch an hour-long webinar. I know it does work, right? Don't get me wrong, but think about maybe how much more affordable your ads would be if you were running it on something like YouTube, where it's literally native to the platform. You're just another video on that platform that's educating them. They don't feel like you're trying to distract them and pull them away from the platform that they're on in order to sell them something. That's a totally different feeling. Whereas on YouTube, they're like, oh yeah, this video looks cool too, let me watch it. And then they watch your webinar and they learn something and they get value from it. So I think for a lot of businesses, having a webinar or educational content on YouTube might actually be a huge plus, because they're able to educate their audience, they're able to teach them something valuable, and they're able to then not even distract them from whatever they were doing before. So the difference in platforms is very important to note. Now, if you have some sort of product that is really sleek and clean and aesthetic, Instagram might be the perfect platform. Again, like, maybe you can educate them very quickly on Instagram without sending them to some sort of funnel or a landing page or something like that. But let's say you create water bottles, right? And you have the most beautiful water bottle on planet Earth. So I think for a business like that, Instagram might actually be the best place for it, because you could charge a premium price for this most beautiful water bottle in the world, right? And those people, there are people with a lot of money on Instagram. And there are people like that on Facebook and TikTok and stuff like that. And you don't really need a whole educational webinar. Like, you don't need to pitch somebody for an hour in order to buy your amazing water bottle, right? You can just show them one photo. And if you can get that photo to be nice enough, they're going to look at it and be like, wow, I don't even know what that is, but I want it. And then they're going to go to your page and learn more about it. And obviously, you're going to have some of those people converting to become customers. So that's an important aspect to understand about these different social media platforms. So depending on what the product is, Instagram might be the best one, YouTube might be the best platform, maybe Facebook, maybe TikTok, but you have to think about what your customer's intent, or the potential customer's intent, is when they're on that platform. And whatever you're trying to do with them, whether it's put them in a webinar and teach them something, or just do a quick sale of a cool gadget or maybe a beautiful water bottle, you have to make sure that that matches up, so that you're not having to battle that as well, right? Because it's one thing to get somebody to pay for something, but if they're not even in the right mind to shop or to buy whatever you're trying to sell them, then that's a whole different battle that you have to fight, because now you have to get them into that frame of mind. Like, hey, I know you were scrolling and looking at cat pictures and funny reels on Instagram, but I want you to just distract yourself for an hour and a half while I explain to you how to do XYZ, right? So when you do something like that, that's kind of it's a big gap. But if they're already on YouTube, let's say, and they're like, how can I improve the marketing in my business? And then you have a webinar on how to improve your marketing in your business. They're like, oh, great, I'm just going to watch this hour and a half long video. And they're totally fine with it. Like, they've already opted in. Their mind is already at that place where they want to watch that video. So in my opinion, if you're thinking about your customer and you're thinking about what their intent is on each one of these platforms, I think it's going to be a lot easier for you to decide on which platform to market your business and to show ads to your customers. And it can probably save you a lot in marketing costs at the end of the day. So anyways, guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.